So I recently started with the department as a teaching specialist last year. Prior to that, I'd been working in industry. So I'd been at Intel for a number of years working on 5G wireless prototypes and some related applications. So things like video compression, immersive media, machine learning, those sorts of things. Before that, I worked as a software developer on cellular products. And then prior to that, I was in graduate school. And I would say in graduate school, I always quite enjoyed working as a demonstrator in workshops. So that's kind of what motivated me to want to come back and try to have a more teaching-centric role.
Are you Dr. Glenn or just Glenn?
I'm Dr. Glenn.
Dr. Glenn! Awesome. Did you do your PhD in Australia or in the US?
In the US, yeah. I'm from
the US.
Yeah, so I think the most exciting thing is that, like, as you're mentioning, it's a new subject. And really the goal behind it is to have students work through a semester-long design project. And I think the exciting thing about that is going to give students the opportunity to kind of integrate some of the topics they've learned in other subjects, like the prereqs, so communication systems, signal processing, embedded systems, and really get some exposure to actually implementing communication systems, kind of moving beyond the theory and actually getting some hands-on practical skills, which I think is useful. And in addition to like just kind of even maybe the use of, technical tools and programs and things like that, there's also, I think, the opportunity for students to kind of get exposure to working in a project team, right? So working on teamwork and communication skills, those sorts of things that end up being actually pretty important for technical roles. I think just some of the, when you're building something like communication systems, there's kind of common problems that you run into, right? So part of my hope is to structure the course in the way that students kind of encounter these things and kind of get exposure to them as students, which I think is useful. Run into similar things on multiple projects, see always kind of the same things kind of pop up. So I think seeing those early is useful. So I would say that the subject is going to be kind of structured non-traditionally. So there's going to be more of an intensive portion at the beginning within the first 4 weeks. And that's when the majority of the lectures are going to be. And they'll have workshops every week. And those will be relatively guided, kind of stepping you through the process of building up a communication system and looking at different aspects. And then after those first 4 weeks, that's really when kind of the design component of the class kicks in, and it's going to be more open-ended, and students are going to kind of be working towards a goal, and the majority of that's going to be in contact hours will be workshops. A lot of the course is going to be structured in a way such that it's practical work. So some heavy lectures at the beginning, but then tapering off in the middle for sure. So it's certainly relevant for students who are interested in communications and networks. I would say that there is utility for students in other areas of electrical engineering, just because I think communications and wireless connectivity is starting to play a pretty expanded role in a lot of systems. So I think having exposure to understanding how those systems are built and kind of what trade-offs exist, how you can apply them, when best to apply certain techniques, I think could be useful for other engineers as well. So things like autonomous systems, for instance, there might be a communication component in those in the real world. So I think just gaining that background, I think, would be useful for a wide range of students. I mean, I would say there's a wide range of industries that are going to be impacted by 5G, as well as kind of just communications in general, even if it's not specifically 5G branded systems, but areas like autonomous systems for sure. Transportation, which is obviously related to that, medicine, so things like e-health, telemedicine. A lot of industries that are based off are going to be kind of transformed by IoT. So again, things like medicine with remote monitoring, or agriculture, mining, those sorts of areas. So really, I think like a wide range of industries, technical industries, would be impacted by it. So I think if you're interested in communications and networking, then definitely the advanced communication subject and the communication networks class. And then I believe there's machine learning, system optimization, and machine learning subject, which would probably be related as well. So I think just like the emphasis is that it's going to be hands-on and practical experience. So I think it should be a fun class.